Students. I'll start with them students. Come first. A very good afternoon to all of you. We'll begin with the fourth technical session of the conference. The theme of this session is fish biology and aquaculture, livestock management and animal husbandry, interdisciplinary studies using animal models. The chairperson of this session will be Professor Krishnan Selapan, Senior Professor and Vice Dean, Research of the School of Biological Sciences and Biotechnology, Goa University. Sir has a PhD from University of Madras in 1997. He has 70 publications to his credit in various national and international peer-reviewed journals and has delivered talks at several national and international conferences. Sir has 24 years of teaching experience and his research areas lie in plant biology, molecular biology, genetic engineering, histochemistry and developmental biology, and secondary metabolites. I invite you, sir, to take over the session. The rapporteur of this session is Dr. Shanti Desai, Assistant Professor, Zoology Discipline of the School of Biological Sciences and Biotechnology, Goa University. I request Dr. Shanti to kindly escort the chairperson to the dais. The first invited speaker of this session is Dr. Shamila Monteiro. Dr. Shamila has completed her Bachelor's of Fisheries Science and Master's of Fisheries Science with specialization in fish production and management from College of Fisheries, Mangalore. She has been awarded Gold Medal for Merit for BFSC by University of Agriculture Science, Bangalore. She has done her PhD from Goa University through NIO and has extensively worked on the fisheries resources of Goa and its management. Dr. Monteiro has undergone an international training on intensive aquaculture, Food Safety and Environment for MASAV Israel. She has been deposed as an expert in the Madai Tribunal on Fisheries and Ecosystems on behalf of the state of Goa. She is also a member of various government bodies and committees such as GCZMA, Goa Biodiversity Board, etc. She joined the government of Goa as Superintendent of Fisheries and is now the Director of Fisheries, Government of Goa, and a member secretary of the Pollution Control Board. It is indeed a pleasure, ma'am, to have you here with us. I kindly invite Dr. Monteiro to deliver her lecture.
Ma'am, hello.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you have 25 minutes for your presentation.
Yes, yes.
Then 5 minutes we'll have for discussion.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I
Thank
will be very fast. Okay. A very good afternoon to all of you. I'm very thankful to the Goa University for having me here. Dr. Savita Kerkar, thank you, ma'am. Thank you to the full zoology discipline, School of Biological Sciences and Biotechnology, Goa University, for organizing also this National Conference on Animal Sciences Integrated Solutions for Sustainability. It's a very, it's the need of the hour actually. And today I'm here to speak on the marine ecosystems and sustainable fisheries. And I will also be telling you what the state government is doing about sustainable management of the fisheries resources. So I think this is a well-known fact that fishing in the oceans, since we are talking about marine fisheries, the most widespread exploitative activity in the marine environment is fishing. I will show you, skip that slide, and I'll show you this particular thing. It affects the marine biodiversity in many ways, like fishing targets certain kind of species which may be more lucrative in terms of price, in terms of preference of the people who consume. And from time immemorial, people have been catching fish. It is not new because as man has evolved, evolution, we see that fishing or hunting is something very, was very common in those days. And we still continue fishing. Of course, hunting then changed to agriculture, or you can say cultivating animals, poultry or dairy. So the same way, fisheries now is moving towards aquaculture. But we still have a lot of people who do marine fishing and who earn their livelihoods to marine fishing. But we have got a lot of problems as well, like bycatch, food web competitions, bottom trawling, other destructive fishing practices, ghost fishing, things like that. Now, why sustainable harvesting of marine fisheries? Because fisheries is a natural resource. It is not a resource which is non-renewable. It can be renewed. So if we don't harvest this renewable resource, sometimes we say it's a waste, right? So we have a human population to feed, and we have got fish, which is a natural resource, and it is very highly rich in nutrients, protein, as well as the high fatty fatty acids which are required by the human population. So when we calculate the maximum sustainable yield, because we have only 12 nautical miles and our coastline is 104 kilometers, and with the number of fishing vessels which exploit this particular resource, within our 12 nautical miles, we have arrived at a figure of 86,000 metric tons as a maximum sustainable yield. Now, there are different methods of calculating a maximum sustainable yield. So, can we achieve more? At the moment, our okay, it's not here. So our sustainable yield, as I told you, is only 85,000 metric tons, but our fish production has crossed the maximum sustainable yield, and it is around 1,25,000 metric tons. So there are a lot of things which we need to do, and I will be telling you why we achieve more. So these are certain things what can be done is effective implementation of the monsoon fishing ban, cod and mesh size regulation, avoiding juvenile catches, minimum size of hours, code of conduct of fisheries, responsible fisheries of FAO, then reduce the number of fishing boats, update the marine fishing regulation, acts and rules, and things like that. Now, what have we done? We have got something called as the Marine Fishing Regulation Act, and this is implemented in all the states of India on the marine side. And this act provides, there are a lot of provisions which help us to regulate the fisheries resources. That is, we have got the provision wherein we register all the mechanized vessels, the nets, and all those things. So these are a few acts and rules what we have. I will go on this very fast. Okay. Okay, so here, as I was saying, these are the number of vessels what we have registered. So total we have around 3,000 vessels in the state of Goa, but we have taken a decision to control this. It's the first state in India which prohibits construction of new fishing vessels, and only we give permission for replacement, new against replacement. So this is, as I was saying you, the marine catch of the state. So as you can see how the catch fluctuates in 1920 because of COVID, and 2021, there was a, catch reduction. And then you can see that although I was telling you that our marine, the MSY is only 86,000 tons, and we have crossed it. It is because now our fishing vessels are going beyond the territorial waters. It is no longer that our fishing vessels are restricted to the 12 nautical miles. So our fishing vessels are going much beyond 12 nautical miles. They go into the EEZ, and there is fish available there. Okay, there is a resource available there. So from the nearshore waters, which are exploited to its fullest, we tell the fishermen, now you have a better gear, better vessels, go beyond the 12 nautical miles. So they go for fishing trips of more than 10 days, catch fish in the deep oceans, and then they come back to the shore for post-harvest of the fisheries resources which are available. So that is how things are at the moment practiced. So as I was saying you that fisheries has evolved from nearshore fisheries. Like earlier, we had the traditional sector which used only rampon nets, perhaps. So what is a rampon net? Rampon net is a net which is, which the fishermen take and cast very close to the beach. So it acts like the beach one side acts like a barrier. So they just pull the nets. I think if you all have gone to Karazale, also close by to your institute, you will see that people, cast their rampon nets. A little better version of a rampon net in the little offshore areas is the mini persian nets, which people are doing by canoes. A little beyond that, they do it with persianing. It is just an improved gear, okay, to your beach scene, because there you don't have the bottom which is shallow. So there they are using boats, and they use a net, purse. It just acts like a purse. So that is called persianing. And then next is our trawlers, what we do, that is trawling. Okay. And here our inland fish production also, this is, I've just shown out of interest because these are inland, because Goa is not entirely freshwater. Our inland is also the brackish water side. So what we have done, as I was telling you, this is our jetty, which is close by at Vasco. So the government of Goa with the need to conserve the fish, has prohibited fishing vessels fitted with mechanized means of propulsion and by means of trawl net and purseine net during the monsoon time, because we say that monsoon time, maximum amount of fish or the different species of fish, they breed during the monsoon. I think Goa is being very unique because there was a PIL in 2000 wherein someone went to the court saying that there is no monsoon fishing ban in the state of Goa. But we were having a monsoon fishing ban right from 1980, wherein our monsoon fishing ban was from 1st of June to 24th of July. Now, 24th of July, why? Sometimes you may say, okay, because everyone says it should be more you keep a closed period, it is better. But the traditional fishermen, they could and you catch a lot of go to sea near Vasco area, or right from Betul, okay, Betul to Zuari, okay, you see the upwelling, and then the upwelling in the northern part of Goa reduces. So we do not have a lot of fishermen who want to go out for fishing during the monsoon in the north side, but south side they want to go during this particular period because they can catch this solar shrimp, and it is available with least effort because it is available close to the shore. A traditional fisherman can go and catch even a ton of solar shrimp during the monsoon time, during this particular time. And then because of the PIL, the ban extended for the whole of the state or whole country, and it went to 61 days, okay, from 1st June to 31st of July. And when we went to the court, we had to show proof why we want the ban or why it should not be there. And then when we see the shrimps, these shrimps are going to lay eggs, okay, they are fully female, impregnated, going to breed. So this ban helps them to spawn, okay, and after it spawns, the fisherman can go and catch them because it is for a small brief period. By, you can say, 15th of August, the shrimp will be spent. Okay, so these are the phenomenons which happen during in along the coast of Goa. So this is the monsoon fishing ban, which helps to save this particular stock, and then it is available. Sometimes the fishermen think that it is not available; it dies. It does not die. Okay, so it remains, and they can then catch it, but they will not get it in that big shoal. It will be spread, and everyone will catch it. The trawlers also will get, the traditional fishermen will get, but a very less quantity because shrimps are demersal species. They are not, what do you say, pelagic. But during this particular time, because of the upwelling, when they are migrating for spawning in great shoals and the oxygen being zero at the bottom, they come on top, and then they can encircle it and catch them. So that is the monsoon fishing ban. Then we have banned use of LED lights in territorial waters in Goa. Now, as I was saying, and pursining in Goa, Goa is the first state in the country to use pursining nets, okay? And we actually taught other states to do pursining because we had the Portuguese rule in Goa before liberation. So during that point of time, we had some 3-4 boats of the Portuguese which they kept in Goa. So we automatically are more towards the pursining, and pursining is a good gear, okay, because it does not target the bottom, not blind fishing. So trawling is a blind fishing. You just drag the net along with the boat, and you can even scrape the bottom. But pursining catches the pelagic fish, and you can also regulate it with the size of the mesh size. So you can leave the fish which is small, juvenile fish, and only the bigger fish, after it matures, after the first spawn, at least we say in population dynamics, you must allow the fish to grow spawn at least once. Okay, that is sustainability, as we were saying. Okay, because you can catch a resource which is a renewable resource. So LED light fishing, what happened was that use of LED light fishing, when you put the lights, it is natural. If you have seen even in sluice gate nets, if in a traditional sector you put a light and the fish gets attracted and you catch the fish. In the same way you put light, the fish from the bottom will get attracted. So we have banned, and also because there was a conflict of interest between the traditional and the mechanized sector, we in the state of Goa, we put the ban on LED lights, because we did not want fisheries resource to be exploited in a very big way in the within the 12 nautical miles. But of course, outside the 12 nautical miles, when you go beyond the territorial waters and you go very deep in the sea, beyond 150 meters depth and 200 meters depth, LED there requires to be a study, because sometimes it is efficient also, because the fishermen will spend less effort to go and search the fish. It saves on their fuel, and also it has a lot of catch. Okay, so they can come back faster. However, it requires more study to say whether this particular kind of fishing would then have any effect on the nearshore fisheries. So this particular thing is banned. Then adoption of uniform color code. So this is especially for the coastal security reasons. You will come to know from which state a particular boat is from. Then, as I was telling you, we have stopped the construction of new fishing vessels. We have restricted that. Even for the traditional sector, we have restricted to only 100. This is what we were saying. Then another thing what we have said, but is the mean legal size. However, in the state of Goa is actually a state which we have taken a lot of initiatives for management and conservation of our fisheries resources. Right from 1980s, we have got the mesh size regulation. So each and every net which is used by a fisherman is registered. And for shrimp, it is a 20 mesh size. I hope you know what is the meaning of mesh. Mesh is a net wherein you have the holes. So that those holes are called mesh size. So for fish, it is 24. So here we have now taken out a law wherein it says that you can't catch fish which is less than a particular size. That is the size at first maturity. So 20 fish species are notified, and you cannot catch this fish which is less than a particular size. They are for oil sardine, Indian mackerel. Then you have the ribbon fish, sear fish, pomfret. So certain fish we have put those things. And in case a fish in a fisherman's catch is more than 50%, which is less than the size, then they are penalized. Then, see, another thing what is for turtles, as I was saying, ecosystems. So we have, besides fish, we have other non-targeted species. Okay. So what we say is that you have to have a turtle exclusive device in your nets. And this is made compulsory from last year onwards, wherein even the US, okay, they don't accept our export product, unless it is certified that it is taken from a trawl which is having an turtle exclusive device. So this is what is put now. It is just a small kind of opening wherein if a turtle is caught in the net, it can slip back into the ocean. Then we also have a prohibition on night fishing and use of explosives, because explosives, you know how it destroys the whole the fish as well as the whole environment, and even the non-targeted species, like every possible thing, like even microorganisms can be destroyed with this explosives if they use in the waters. Sometimes they even use bleach. So no fishing zones are also been notified. Certain places wherein it is sensitive, it is notified for no fishing. And then we talk about what are we doing to increase the fish production, besides giving licenses or to deep sea fishing vessels, because deep sea fishing is an untapped resource. So when you there is still potential to go out in the deep and fish. Coastal is exploited enough. Okay, so what else? Next is doing aquaculture. Okay, so we have got the Goa State Mariculture Policy 2020. This is again the first in the country. So we have said that we will give certain areas in the sea for doing open sea cage culture. And then we have the artificial reefs. So Government of India also, I hope you know, there is something called as the Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana scheme. It is a scheme which is for the benefit of the fishermen as well as for the environment. And so because there is less fish now in the territorial waters, that is what they say. So we need to put artificial reefs, and artificial reefs will help a lot in maintaining the ecosystems, and will generate a lot of fish, because it will make its own niche and have a lot of uh, deposition of your algae. Then the fish will come to feed the algae, and so on and so forth, and then it will create a lot of fish there, and fishermen will be beneficial to them. Okay, and as I was saying about the open sea cage culture, so that also is like an artificial reef itself, by itself, although you are culturing fish. And this is what we have observed, in 2014 till 17, we had this project wherein we were doing open sea cage culture with the fishermen, a self-help group, wherein we grew lettuce, cobia, as well as pompano. And you could see that, because we feed the fish there. Of course, it's not overfeeding, but we feed the fish. But there might be some leftovers, and you can see the amount of fish that comes to the net. Okay, so the fishermen can earn their livelihood from these cages, as well as from just putting their gill net near to the cages, and also by just hanging mussels on the on the periphery of the net of the cages. And it's really really good to see that. So this is how the artificial reefs can be made, because they can be made of any concrete structure, or you can make it with different kinds of material. Okay, so in the state of Goa, we are going to put 14 now. We have already got it approved from the PMMSY, and it will be executed by ICR Goa. So these are the advantages, a lot of advantages of artificial reefs. They provide new locations for fishermen to fish. They also act as a carbon sink, and it's just like coral reefs. So these are just man-made. Okay. Then next is seaweed cultivation. So seaweed, I think, because you all are in the biotechnology, you will be knowing why seaweed is so important. Okay, and even the PMO's office is very keen to see that seaweed is promoted in the country. And there was a proposal now with us for seaweed bank. So if that comes up also, it'll be very good for the state, because seaweed has got so much of potential, and we have got so many varieties of seaweed in the state. Okay, and naturally, if you go down to Kakra, I think it's just down your Talegaon. The fishermen told me they have almost 2 tons of sargassum there. But if someone can really take that out and do, because it is a very good weed which can be used for so many purposes. It can, even ulva we have, which can be eaten. Okay, you have a lot of things like that. So these are things, and we also have a proposal for mussel farming, which is huge. Okay, so this kind of things can be done to help illegal fishing. But by the way, fishermen is very a fisherman, to make them change to aquaculture is very tough, because fishermen are not farmers. Okay, they are like like hunters, So they want to go out to the sea, catch the fish and come back. They cannot have that gestation period of a farmer of 3 months. Okay. So when we say alternate livelihood, if a person is disturbed from going fishing, and tell them to do aquaculture or seaweed farming or mussel farming or cage farming in the sea, it takes a lot of time to convince, to create awareness among them that this is a good practice also. Don't stop your fishing, but do this also, because they may then stop fishing and do only this, but it will take a long time. So in the meanwhile, what we do if there is any illegal fishing, we have a full-fledged control room which operates 24/7. Of course, I would not say that we are doing enough. More needs to be done on illegal fishing, because the manpower, the resources what you have is also limited. But we have a full-time control room. We attend calls in the control room whenever someone communicates that there is an illegal fishing. We have got one vessel, and we have another vessel which is used as a training vessel, but we then use that also for patrolling. We have got authorized officers to conduct the patrolling, and then we have a penalty also. So when you catch someone doing illegal fishing, then we have to file a case with the educating officer, and then he will then decide whether he is really done a crime or not, and then he will levy his penalty. So this is the penalty section, which says that it is certain times the value of fish if it is caught. So actually it is a big fine, because if a vessel is caught fishing and he has, say, fish worth 1 lakh of rupees, he will get a fine of up to 5 lakh of rupees. So it is in that ways quite a bit fine. And then we quickly talk about marine pollution, since I wanted to touch on this, because this concerns me very much more than what the fishing is doing, because now our fishermen who go beyond, because we have got only 600 vessels, mechanized vessels. Okay, so it is not much, because we have taken this step to stop addition to the fishing fleet. Other states, one particular jetty will have more than 1,000 vessels. Okay, so over the years, from 900 it's come to 600. Okay, so it is not very difficult to control this, and most of them are Persianers. They go beyond the territorial waters, and they go with a mesh size of more than 40. Okay, so illegal fishing is sometimes carried out by the traditional sector, because they prefer to use, when it is in the inshore, you can understand the size of fish is small, outside it is big. So it is usually the traditional sector which actually has got certain issues. Yes, so this is a topic. 5 minutes I have. Okay, so this is a topic which I would like to speak on, because this concerns us a lot, because we see a lot of this marine pollution everywhere, and all of us are contributing to it. So all of us must see that we stop consuming things which we do not really require. If we have certain kind of dry waste or any waste, please dispose it in the correct practice. If we miss the person who comes to collect at our doorstep, please go to the nearest place and hand it over. Do not throw it on the road. Do not throw your things outside the window, because this finally ends up into the river, and it finally ends up into the sea. And the ocean throws it back to you in the rains. Okay, and our animals inside are dying because of this. Okay, these are some picture. I wanted to show some pictures, because otherwise you can see it in the net. Turtles getting caught with eating plastic. I don't know whether I have put. And this dolphin, you can see the ring around that dolphin. It is of a bottle. And this dolphin died of suffocation because he couldn't open its beak. Okay, so these are the things which really make me very sad, because we as a human being, we have got a lot of, our mind, our brains are very good, but please, we must see that this activity stops. And another thing what I want to tell you is that we create a lot of awareness to the fishermen about turtles, about endangered species. So now our fishermen, traditional fishermen, they saved turtles. Okay, turtle eggs were saved at the Karivada, in Vasco, in Baina. Even a whale, you can see that's a whale actually, whale shark. This was let out. It was accidentally caught by someone in their net. It came in their net, but they cut their nets. They destroyed the net and left it. So this is the kind of awareness which is being generated among the fishermen now. And sometimes it is very sad to see that these fishermen, they go out in the sea and they come back with plastic. Okay. And sometimes we say that fishermen may be, throwing some plastic out in the sea when they're going. But it is we who are contributing to the plastic, because it is coming down from our land. If you go on the sea, you see in the mangrove areas, our mangroves are choked with plastic. So please do this. We also do beach cleaning campaigns. We did a lot of beach cleaning campaigns all across. We collected a lot of waste along with the fishermen, and they were so happy. They told us, let's do it very often. Okay, because our beaches are so full, we don't even have place to keep our things in certain places. So with that, I would stop with appeal to everyone to please take care of your waste. Be responsible. All of us should be responsible in disposal of our waste, whether it's a wrapper of a chocolate or whether it is a plastic bag. Please dispose it in a correct and responsible manner so that our ecosystems, marine ecosystem, is protected, and everyone will be happy, and all of us, for sustainable future and our children. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, madam, for giving the comprehensive account of marine ecosystem sustainability with special reference to fisheries. And we'll open the session for discussion. Only two questions.
Yeah, ma'am. Good afternoon. First, let me congratulate you and appreciate all your efforts, because, of course, I had a part to be with the government for some time and we had a good communication those days. But I'm very surprised to see that the mesh size and also the TED has been implemented. It's great efforts by you. Certainly, I just wanted to know whether it is still been monitored, that mesh size and the TED. And how many trawlers are registered, ma'am?
We have around 300 and odd trawlers and more than 400 personas.
Okay, let me thank you for all your support to our department, particularly in this forum. I would like to appreciate most of our zoology students are, I think, employed with fisheries department. Most of them, I think, few of them have permanently employed recently. Thank you for that, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam, I have a general query to know. I've seen in Discovery and Geographic channels that they are now using sonar, some monitoring system to trace out the fish under deep sea for fishing. And they used to lines, or they used to determine also size. Are we using or trying to use such features in near future in our country?
See, sonar is a fish finder. So all our boats are equipped with fish finders. It's not a very new thing. It's been there for more than 10 years now, 10, 15 years. All our vessels, whether it is purseiner or trawler, they are all equipped with fish finders, that is the sonar, and they catch fish. And actually, fish finders are more relevant to trawling, okay, rather than pursening. Pursening is sight. Aryaman stands on top, and then he can sight the shoal, and depending upon the expertise of that Aryaman, he can tell you whether it is a mackerel shoal or whether it is a sardine shoal, so they can catch that. But sonar is specifically used for your trawling, wherein they can also tell what kind of fish it is. Even you can use it for a little deeper, even for other pelagic also, but in the mid ocean usually it is used. They can fish. It's not having a very big depth.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
I have only one
Yes,
small
ma'am.
query.
Ma'am,
A small query. We have so many casinos in Goa, right?
Yes.
So do they use LEDs? LED lights in the water?
See, there are two things, ma'am.
Yeah.
One is LED lights, which are on top, like how we are using it. And there are LED lights which are used submersible. Okay. So both can be used for fishing. Now your casinos can have a light, LED light, but fish are attracted, but there is no fishing there.
Professor Rai, the last question. Yes.
Look, now fisheries sector, okay, with the trawler and all this overfishing is there. But how much it is sustainability? Because what you use always as sustainability in the aquaculture or any field. So what is the definition for sustainability for in terms of the fish catching for the marine resource?
Yes. So that's what exactly I was saying. In our coast, the maximum sustainable yield, what we say, is
Only for catching.
yes, for catching. So you can catch that much. Yield means catching. So you can catch up to 85,000 metric tons if it is only within the 12 nautical miles of Goa. And then what we say is that when it goes beyond and it becomes economic sustainable yield, so you can go slightly higher than that. Okay, but when you go beyond that, then the curve falls. So you have a depletion coming down. But we should not be very concerned about this at least in our area, because we are in the tropical, we are not in temperate. Okay, so there is a difference because in temperate the fish are big, the maturity is higher. Fish will take at least 5-6 years to mature, whereas in Goa or in the tropics, like we are talking about sardines, we are talking about mackerels, they are breeding. It is, say, for sardines it is more than twice a year. Okay, there is a peak from May to August, and then again in the month of December. So so spawning is very fast. So coming to the fisheries is very fast. Okay, so and the amount of especially being a pelagic area, mackerel and sardines, the fecundity is very high. Okay, so
Yeah.
replenishment is very fast. Yes.
So, I have fish in the fish lover. I go fish market also. You see the amount of the fish which is coming from the local catch in the market, day by day is diminishing.
Yes.
Something is wrong in our maintaining the fisheries department or fisheries people that they are to for sustainable catch.
No, I wouldn't say that the catch is. See, there are two things. One is catching, and what is coming in the market. It is not necessary that what you catch, everything comes to the market. Okay, because you. No, it all depends on the preference. It's demand and supply, basically. If you have demand for, see, our trawlers or pursiners, they may come with one, a trawler may come with, say, 10 tons. Someone will come with another 20 tons. So in a day, you may have 50 tons of, say, mackerel. Can my market consume 50 tons in a day? No. In
Thank you
fact,
very much, ma'am.
this year we had a bumper catch of mackerel. The fishermen have sold at the jetty at 17 rupees a kilo. It has gone to fish meal plants, because even if you have a processing capacity, you may not want to have processed food. You want fresh. So that is the
Yeah,
problem.
thank you, madam. And if there are more questions, please talk to her over the lunch, and we'll go for the next speaker.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the very, very informative talk you delivered to all of us. On behalf of the School of Biological Sciences and Biotechnology, I request the chairperson of the session, Professor Krishnan sir, to kindly present a memento to Dr. Shamila Monteiro. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. He has a specialization with B.Pharm, M.Pharm with a PhD in Pharmacology from Mumbai University in 2004. He has 7 years of pharmaceutical industrial experience plus 30 years of teaching experience. Sir is an approved PhD and PG guide and has guided 25 MPharm students and has several national and international publications in peer-reviewed journals. Sir is a recipient of various grants such as WHO Fellowship, Shikshak Bhushan Award, MOD-ROB AICTE grant, DST project, etc. Sir has authored several scientific books such as Good Pharmacy Practice, Manual for Practicing Pharmacist by IPA and WHO, Establishment of Pharmacy Education in Goa. It is indeed a pleasure to have you with us, sir, today. I invite Professor Madhusudan Joshi to present his lecture on evaluation of drugs for central nervous system activity. Yes, sir. So this is your present. Sir's sir's pen drive.
It's not with me. Do you have a video and a paper?
No, that is not the video.
Okay.
You get me?
Yeah.
I'll continue.
Yeah, there it is. So you require the pointer,
No,
or I'll
I
put
will
it
go
on
by-
this.
yeah. There will be CNS model.
This one?
Yes.
Okay, I'll keep it.
Copy it.
Okay, one.
Yeah.
I'll copy.
That is already copied.
No, that was not called.
One.
You can go for PPT, my PPT.
Yes, sir.
And
I'll
my-
just check once if it's opening properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's over here.
Yeah, you can start with this presentation.
Yeah, it's already open, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is to change the slide, and this is the laser.
No, I
in
can
case
go
you-
by this also. No?
In case you want the laser.
Sir, you will have 25 minutes for presentation and 5 minutes for discussion. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Samantha. I thank organizers for giving me opportunity to present some of our work from Goa College of Pharmacy, Department of Pharmacology. My earlier speaker has already taken a good task of taking you to the fish, and between the lunch and my session has in between the fish. So bear with for some time, and then you will have definitely delicious lunch. I have been already introduced. This is my contact number and email ID. Department of Pharmacology, basically, we are screening drugs, particularly Ayurvedic formulation, for central nervous system activity, that is the drugs which are affecting our brain. Currently, in our pharmacology lab, we are investigating Ayurvedic drugs, and our animal house is, in fact, approved by CPC, SCA, and almost for 2 decades, our animal house is approved. And today morning itself, I got an email saying that it is again renewed for next 5 years. In front of me is Dr. Roy, who will appreciate or understand how difficult it is to get animal house approved. So I just wanted to make a mention of this. In our lab, we are having some dedicated instrument through which we investigate central nervous system, drugs acting on central nervous system. We have some animal models which we have developed. They include autotrack, rotarod, various mazes, and we are having analgesiometer. Among the mazes, one we use is water maze, which was used for learning and memory activity. And this was only used for rat models. And these rat models need some training before they are being exploited for evaluating the CNS activity. The rotarod which we use over here is basically like a treadmill, and it helps us to determine the skeletal motor activity in the laboratory animals. In animal study, initially when we do animal study, we were doing some subjective test which was modified subsequently by modified Irwin test, wherein we used to observe the animals, and observer used to make a note of various points of animal activity when they were freely let in the cage, and that's based on that we used to assess the activity. But that has been replaced by auto track, and this auto track captures the data automatically, and with that we are trying to analyze it. Now some of the models which we have, instead of me explaining this, I will just try to place before you the video clip. So a student working on auto track, the animal is put in the cage, and already parameters are set for this. Animal continuously moves depending upon its activity. The activity of the animals, particularly 4 type of parameters are recorded over here. You see over here animal activity is being recorded. So the movement of the rat in the cage, the distance traveled in terms of centimeter is counted, the total time spent in stereotypic activity, then resting time, all the data is collected. This data helps us to find out whether the effect is of the drug or it is due to this. The second model which we use is rotarod, as we have already explained to you. The skeletal muscle activity of the animal much depends upon how animal can remain on this rotating rod, and the parameters for this rotating rod are already set. Once the machine is on, the animal has to struggle to remain on that, and once it is fatigued, it falls down. The time taken by the animal to fall down is automatically recorded. There are infrared detectors over there, and this helps us to understand whether the drug is having specifically skeletal muscle relaxant activity. As I have mentioned, we are having now specifically designed equipments to capture the data, and this particular animal model which I am explaining is having a capacity to record animals live. So in elevated plus maze, we are having smart software. We feed in the parameters as regards to number of animals, the uh, uh, particular activity which we are going to determine, and in that particular model there is a camera which is collecting the data directly from the animal, and this data is interpreted based on what type of model you are using. So this smart software can be used for many type of mazes. Presently which you are seeing is elevated plus maze, which is used to determine the anti-anxiety activity. So this is a model wherein you will find a rat is placed in the central activity, and there are 2 compartment, that is open compartment, open arm, and 2 closed arm. So rat being a animal which will prefer to go into the closed arm, it will go when it is anxious, it will go into the closed arm, and it will remain in the closed arm. So time spent in the closed arm is being detected, and that is being used as one of the parameter which probably is taken as analysis for its anti-anxiety activity. For learning and memory, we need to train the animal, and for this we use water maze. So in water maze, we are having a well-like structure, and this particular water maze is divided into 4 quadrants. On the day 1, we train the animal, and now right now you see there is a platform wherein animal is taught to find that platform. It will come on the platform, it will rest on the platform. Next few days animal will be subjected to different type of exercise over there, wherein platform is hidden, the platform is not seen, animal cannot easily see the platform. As you see, it is searching, and the markers which you see over here, they are the special cues. So these red detects, orients in the space based on the cues, and even if the platform is hidden, it will try to go and sit in the. As I have mentioned, the platform well is divided into 4 quadrants. The one in which platform is present, it is a platform quadrant, and rest 3 are the platform wherein if rat is placed in those platform, it finds difficulty in tracing that particular platform. So as the data is captured easily by the camera, the data converts how much time rat is taking to locate that platform, and that forms the basis of us. We have tried to analyze some of the activities which we are being traced in Ayurvedic formulation. From the animal model, now I am moving on to some of the concepts in Ayurveda. It is general belief that in Ayurveda we use herbal drugs. Yes, mainly we use the herbal drug, but in Ayurveda herbal drugs are rarely used in the natural form. They are subjected to the processing, or what we call it as a process of conversion of these herbal drugs into kalpas. So if you go in any pharmacy, you will never find direct herbal extract, but you will find different type of formulations. Just like in allopathy, we are having various formulations like tablet, cup syrup or capsule. Same way, herbal drugs are processed, and this processing, particularly when it is being done, what effect it is having. So the base of this particular Ayurvedic processing, they term it as a samskara. So it is samskara which brings about modification, change in the property of the herbal drug, and how this particular processing changes the activity that is being given in what we call it as a formulation. So there is a direction to manufacture that particular Ayurvedic product, which we call it as a part, and it talks about in detail about the composition of the drug, ingredient, detailed temperature, at what temperature it is to be heated, at how long it is to be heated, how it is to be cooled. All these are like formulas which we are using in Ayurvedic formulation. Now, some of the Ayurvedic products which we have identified, we have tested it using this model, about which already we have seen a video clip. 3 models, 3 particular products we have analyzed, and I would like to present those 3 particular products, our findings on that. Now, first product which we have analyzed was Drakshasa, or a product which is hydroalcoholic preparation. If you go in the market and if you ask for Drakshasa, 3 different companies Drakshasas will be available, and 3 will be having 3 different formulas, and we try to find out what will be the composition of each of these formulas, and we have seen that these are similar to cocktail preparations having many ingredients. So in our database, we try to find out from already published data what activity these plants are having, and we came to a conclusion that these plants are combined maybe to produce additive effect or synergistic effect. And thirdly, what we found is some of the agents are added to counter the side effects of the other plants itself. So this was something which we found, and we took Drakshasa. It is a asava self-generated preparation containing 8% of alcohol, similar to wine and beer. Wine, beer, or any alcoholic preparation is likely to cause addiction. But when we subjected this particular product for analysis, when we evaluated, we found that 2 of the preparations were less addictive compared to others. And we tried to analyze what was the reason, or is there any variation in the composition. And we found that in this composition, there is, in 2 composition, there is a special plant, that is lavang, clove, which we use, and there is already published data about this, which is used in de-addiction program. So the formulation which is available in the market as a Drakshasa, you will find it is having different ingredient, but this composition is varying, keeping in mind specific requirement of the product. The second product which we analyzed was Brahmi, that is Bacopa moneri. In Ayurveda, this product is administered in form of a gruth, that is in medicated ghee. it is not directly administered as a extract, water extract, and plain extract of the Brahmi growth, Brahmi, when we tried to administer, it did not show much of the activity as far as memory is concerned. But this took us to our concept in pharmaceutics, wherein we learn about drug delivery system. And in drug delivery system, we process the drug so that it is delivered at the appropriate site. Brahmi's action of site of action is brain, and to deliver at this particular site, to overcome blood-brain barrier, you require a different type of delivery system. And probably this was the principle, this was the concept existing in that product. We analyzed one more product, Wouding or Emblia ripes, and this was something interesting finding. So when our student was working on it, you will find in many villages this Wouding is boiled with the milk and administered to the infants, and basically this is given as a enthelmintic to the children. So we took this water extract as well as an extract in the boiled milk, and we tried to analyze, and student came with the result saying that, sir, it doesn't show any water extract, doesn't show any milk extract, doesn't show any CNS activity. So she was a bit disappointed. I said, very good. If water extract is showing activity and milk extract is not showing activity, then the principle involved in Ayurvedic processing or handling is perfect, because the drug is administered specifically as an enthelmintic drug. There they don't want CNS acting drug. So how they have taken care is boil that drug with the milk, wherein CNS activity is abolished. If you administered it as a water extract, CNS activity will be written over there. So that was something which was interesting, and this was we presented at conference in Naipur. And the plant is basically used for digestive disorders, and CNS activity is not required. This thought process was present, and we concluded that the processing either results in potentiation or achieving some specific therapeutic goal. So that was our conclusion. We talked about addiction. We also saw that the processing is taking place in terms of the elimination of unwanted activity. One of the products which we studied long back was the areca nut. And in this areca nut, we tried to find out what effect it is having on learning and memory. It does have some effect on learning and memory, but areca nut being a controversial drug, we did not pursue much work on this. And only the alkaloid arecolin, which is already reported having cholinergic activity, and all we know cholinergic drugs, they are used in the treatment of many, particularly rivastigmine, which is used in the treatment of Alzheimer's. Maybe in Goan population, somebody may look it, or the people who are eating this areca nut, what is the prevalence of Alzheimer's disease? Maybe demographic study could be taken out before we take such type of work. So I think that was something which we did it in our lab, Department of Pharmacology, Goa College of Pharmacy. And with that, I end my presentation. If you have any questions, now it's open.
Yeah, the topic is open for the discussion. Any questions or clarification? Oh, yes, Dr. Samant.
Work on any rat model or any particular, like we have Vistar rats and all, is it only, or is it designed for any mice as well as rat models?
Yeah, you can use any rat model, but we are presently maintaining Vistar rat only one strain we are maintaining. But it will work on any rat model. It should work.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any?
Infer any statistical inference based on the effect of areca nut on Alzheimer's by sampling, because it is very difficult all the time to carry a full experiment, come to a conclusion with a large population. But whatever existing in the public domain, the knowledge base, or from the survey, can we not get some conclusion, some sort of inference rather than predictions? What is
Yes.
your opinion?
Yes, thank you for that query. Against Erecoline, there will be tons of literature available that Erecoline is carcinogenic, and already having been mentioned as a carcinogenic to push a drug which is already established, not Erecoline as such, Areca nut itself, it will be quite challenging. And as far as animal models are concerned, I think Alzheimer's, some diseases are unique to Homo sapiens and cannot be replicated in animals. And I think animal model we were initially looking, but it is going to be very, very difficult at this stage to me. So I thought of presenting this data. So if any of the student thinks in terms of cell line cultures or other type of studies, then probably yes, we can collaborate. I hope I have cleared your doubts, sir.
Improvement is beginning, no end. So I think at this stage, when we have some information, we have wealth of literature, we have cases in public, probably at this level, we should come up with some statistical inference by sampling study at ground truthing from population existing, and as academicians or as intellects trying to give some information to youngsters and public, we should come out with some, no, up to this extent, this much is
Yes.
viable or seems to be logically justified or scientifically justified.
Yes,
Please.
sir. Yes. Thank you. Definitely, we will take into
Any
account.
questions from students back? Yeah. If there are no questions, thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful talk on evaluation of drugs for central nervous system activity by using in vivo animal models and also various Ayurvedic formulations. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the very informative talk. I now request the chairperson, Professor Krishnan, sir, to kindly present a token of appreciation to Professor Joshi. I now invite Professor I.K. Pai, sir, to present a token of appreciation to our chairperson. Okay, after lunch break. Okay, sir. Yeah, thank you, sir. So we'll have a short lunch break now for half an hour. Please try and report by 2 o'clock if possible. We will start the session by 2 or maximum 2:10. Thank you.